What is going on, everybody? Non here. Happy Sunday. Recording from a hotel room and also a little bit under the weather because my kids got me sick again. So it is that time of the week to go through distribution update for Pokemon Magic and a bunch of other indie TCGs. So let's start with One Piece. The second wave of OP13 should be coming out in the next week or two. Now, next week's going to be weird because everybody's going to be off on Wednesday, off on Friday. So if things don't ship Monday or Tuesday, chances are it's not going to come to the week after. I know as we go to Sorcery, for example, both Southern and PhD who carry Sorcery want to ship on Tuesday because the following Friday, which is December 5th, is a release date. So it's going to be a little bit of a funky week. So moving on, let's see. Where do we want to go? So Godzilla Set 3 doesn't come out until January. I do want to talk about this because Godzilla Card Game 1, the boxes are selling for like $90, and I don't know why. If you have any idea other than the fact that there's not a whole lot out there, please comment. Because on TCG Player, they're actually selling a few a day, and there's like 13 boxes available. It's kind of crazy. And I have a bunch that I've been sitting on just because I thought it was cool, and I kind of expected Toho to do a little bit more with it, which they haven't. So anyway, moving to Gundam. No information on reprints coming for GD2. Wave 2 for GD2, I don't know anything about. I've heard nothing at all. Granted, my OP rep is kind of MIA. With Gundam 1 or GDO1 New Type Rising, there's under 100 boxes available on TCG Player. There's just a bunch of Japanese shitty boxes there, kind of holding the price down. So in the video I did last night, just about things to focus on in what's a little bit of a softer market, New Type Rising is about to zoom, in my opinion. And again, I've been saying this for a couple months, but I really don't see a whole lot of inventory coming to market until March at the earliest, where I believe we have ST01 through ST04 coming to market at that point in time. So moving on, where do we want to go next? Riftbound. Similar, the big reprint of Origins. Riftbound. So the first set is coming the end of December, early January, is what I'm told. All of the reprints so far have come early, and I believe they're being printed in Japanese, or in Japan, I should say, is what I'm told. So I would imagine these are probably going to be here the second week of December. Now, it gets a little funky with shipping around the holidays, but I would not touch Riftbound Origins with a 20-foot pole because there is more product coming to market, and I would imagine it's going to be a lot. Spirit Forged. So I did get my first allocation from Spirit Forged from my OP vendor. It looks like it's going to be a little bit more than Origins, which is great. Now, granted, it doesn't come out until February, but just keep in mind that the second Riftbound set and the spoilers look really, really cool. It is going to be the same as, if not a little bit more than Origins in volume. So Sorcery we talked about. Let's talk about Weiss. So Nikki, there's less than 500 boxes available on TCG Player. Now the overall number says 2,000. One vendor has 1,500. There's another, call it 100 or so boxes that are over 80 bucks. These things are going to get to 75, 80 bucks probably in the next couple months, which is really, really fascinating. But what I really want to mention is, and Azure Lane had an order for a second wave of gold that closed, I think, last week. But it's been a little bit on the weaker side. So really not much to pay attention to there. But I do want to pay attention to Freerun. So this is a Freerun reprint right here. This comes out in December. Horribly underordered. I haven't even seen this on TCG Player, so I'm not sure what the price is. I know the first edition boxes are still going for $125. These boxes, I think I bought 50 cases at $35.50. They were super, super cheap. But the second season of the anime is hitting Netflix in January of 2026. So, that's going to be pretty cool from a tailwind perspective. Moving on, let's talk Magic first. We'll hit Pokemon last. So, Avatar hit. We got a ton of product coming out. It does look like with Spider-Man, the play boxes were ripped for singles and it smashed the single price. With Avatar, especially with Jumpstart, what I'm starting to notice is that the rare and mythic singles, and again, rare and mythic is a little bit of a misnomer because there is one per deck that has those sets in, or one per deck that has the card in. But for example, Katara had 77 listed this morning, and by tonight there was like 34 listed. I think stores they're selling the Jumpstart boosters because it's such a pain in the ass to rip. So you have the outer wrapping, then you have the inner cellophane to rip, and then you have to sort the cards. I think just the labor itself is really being prohibitive to people ripping and listing singles. So if it was similar to Spider-Man, I would have expected like 300-400 copies of these, and they're just not there. So keep an eye on Avatar Jumpstart. I think the sealed product's going to be kind of dead for a while. And I know Rudy made a comment that they're not going to reprint. He's full of shit. Like, the comment that he made was so disingenuous. Like, they're going to reprint Jumpstart. It's in print for 3 years. To say they're not going to reprint it, like, is stop, dude. I don't know if he didn't think about it, but for the time being, the large stores are dumping these for $80, $90. I think I actually saw $73 equivalent for a case on TCG Player, which is insane. But if you're willing to buy the boxes, rip the singles, and average over time, you should be able to do pretty well. Now, the EV of these, and I'll do another video because we do have an EV tracker out now. It's EV at anontcg.com. The EV of these at a 50-cent SIF floor was approximately $100, which is underwater-ish at $70, $80 a box. However, the market value is below a lot of the single prices, which means the single prices have turned because the market value on TCG Player is a lagging indicator. So I think it's going to get to a point where it's going to make a little bit of sense to rip this. Not a whole lot of else going on. It seems to be a decent set. Final Fantasy Holiday should have the rest of our final allocations this week. It looks like they've held a lot of this back to sell it on Amazon. Look, we're in the world where it's 2022 all over again. Hasbro is dying to get revenue to hit their earnings. They're probably going to hit it in Q4. In the series I did on Breaking Hasbro, I am most likely going to take a decent chunk of profit from Pokemon and buy puts on Hasbro after the Q4 earnings, because they're killing their own market, and 2026 is going to be a bloodbath, probably to the point where the stock's going to hit somewhere 60, 50 range, and they're going to get taken out by somebody. It is what it is. Survival of the fittest. So Lorwyn, not much to talk about here yet, but with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some interesting information. So through the pre-release process of just talking to people, call it market research if you will, everybody tends to think it's a slight step down from Avatar, but way better than Spider-Man. I mean, look, nobody's going to say, oh yeah, this is going to be worse than Spider-Man at this point. But I think going into the next couple sets, Hasbro's going to have to pivot on what Spider-Man was, and we're probably 2 or 3 sets away from that. But if you're trying to catch lightning in a bottle, you got to start spending now. And I know we've had conversations, a couple hours ago, where it's like, we're just going to max what we get from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and sell what we can, make what we can. If we break even on the set in general, it is what it is. But there should be better sets coming. in 2026, and worst case 2027. So moving to Pokemon, and we finally have our holiday set out. It is Ascended Heroes, but before we go there, we finally got final allocations for the Mega Venusaur, EX Box, the Mega Kangaskhan, and the Fall Collector's Chest. I will tell you that as of right now, the December 5th date is what everybody's saying for the second wave of all these products. So it's all Phantasmal. It's for the Charizard UPC and all of these EX boxes. So those are coming out. I have noticed that the Mega Charizard XEX UPCs are really starting to dry up on TCG Player. So I would probably use it as an opportunity to sell. The second wave is coming, and it's probably 55% of the first wave. But I think ultimately they're going to be okay because the singles are still selling for $75 just for the Charizard. The Oricorio is probably $30. So if you're able to get $100 alone from the promos, I mean, the 18 packs are going to carry, at least $7,500 of value. So Pokemon Day Collection, I think I mentioned to you guys, the total supply of this is similar to what it was for any of these EX boxes. Really similar to the Salamence and Restaurant box. So there's probably a couple 100,000 of these out there. Worst case, so Ascended Heroes, I should have some idea over the next couple days what this supply of this looks like. Now, what's interesting here on the release date, and I did a video specifically on this, you have the 2-pack blister with the coin and the Ascended Heroes tech sticker collection all coming out of release, but then the ETBs and the tins I get, but the ETBs coming out a month after the fact, or call it 21 days, 3 weeks, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And then you have the booster bundles really coming out 3 months after the fact, so almost 90 days. This leads me to believe that, and again, the posters and the booster bundles are the same materials that the booster box wrappings are made out of, the packaging. So this really leads me to believe that they are going to dump a massive reprint of booster boxes at the end of Q1. Now, again, in my view, what I know, and I'm obviously not going to tell you how I know it, but there are a lot, north of 1 million packages ordered for Phantasmal Flames. End of Q1, I would assume, and again, this is just one of the packaging facilities, and they're going to make the packaging and then package them and get them ready to ship to distribution. I would imagine Mega 1 and Destined. But after watching Rudy's video last night about Pokemon, I'm starting to think, I wonder if they're going to hit Temporal, Stellar Crown, Twilight, and let's say Surging, and just hit all of the second wave, or I should say the second tier of Scarlet Violet with that. So it's going to be super interesting. So again, I'm in the process of generating some liquidity, selling some really awesome items that I think are going to have a ton of upside. But I just want to make sure that we're ready as a business and ready to go. So anyway, guys, that's what I have tonight. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and have a great Thanksgiving.